Hello, 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 everybody. This is Bridget of Ebony Ladies in the DR. Let me get that glare out of the here. It looks like there's only one person on here tonight, whoever that is. Hello, thank you for joining me. I didn't want to talk to myself, but I guess the time change threw everybody off. For those of you that did not know, we are 1 hour ahead of Eastern time. So the last month when we did go live, it was 10 o'clock my time, and we didn't get off until 11:30. So I said this time I'm gonna make it an hour earlier, and I think that may have threw off my subscribers because we're on here at 8 o'clock Eastern instead of 9 o'clock Eastern, which it is in 9 o'clock my time. But thank you for joining me. Go ahead and sign in. And if you have any questions, just put them in there. So, hola, I hope I say it right. Que piña. Hola. And welcome. Bienvenidos a mi canal. So, guys, what I wanted to talk about tonight was I had, today's Thursday. Since Sunday, I have had four consultations with Americans, all American subscribers that are thinking about moving to Punta Cana. And every one of them, the first question they asked me was about crime. How's the crime? Are you afraid living there as a foreigner? And then just after the week that the US has had, I'm like, how are people still asking me this question? Because I know there was a mass shooting at Michigan State. Then there was a shooting in El Paso. And one thing that did realize that I am noticing, y'all know I've been here 4 years now. So one of the things that I'm noticing is crime is going up. And I think is with the influx of people that are coming here. But one thing I noticed is not a lot of random crime like it is in the US. So still, I'm not fearful. I still feel safer here than I do in the US. But on if anybody follows Bavaro News or any of the local news outlets here in the Punta Cana area or Dominican Republic, they're all on Instagram. They post the news at me literally as it happens within the next 10 or 15 minutes after it happens. And so, the last 2 weeks, I saw that there was a kidnapping. Okay, of a Dominican. He was 23 years old. And so that kind of scared me, but it was a young Dominican guy. And then his body was found. It was like a really sad thing, but his friends did it. It was like his friends found out that he was gay and he was dating one of the guy's sister. And so that wasn't random. Okay. Then the next thing that happened, we've had a couple of fatalities over the last 2 weeks. If you've been here, then you know how bad the driving is. You should go back and watch my episode about driving. The driving here is horrible. I don't see it getting any better. I see more police presence, and they're trying to, kind of crack down on the speeding, trying to crack down on the people using the lane on the side that's not a lane, coming up on the right side of you, on the basically the shoulder. So they're trying to crack down on that. So I'm seeing changes, just not as fast as we would like them to be. But we are starting to see some changes here. But another thing that I noticed, with crime, again, there was one tourist that he wasn't mugged. They tried to take his backpack. It was two women. They tried to take his backpack in the middle of the day in the Los Corrales area. So if you're out in Los Corrales area, is somebody tried to take this gentleman's backpack. He was not even alone. He was with a group of people. They were like 4 or 5 people, and they were a little bit ahead of him. He was an older gentleman. He was kind of behind, but literally his family or friends or whoever were just steps away. The two girls tried to grab his backpack. Somebody started filming as soon as they walked up to him. And his family came and they got the backpack back from the girls, and the police actually caught the girls. So the good thing about that area, is there's a lot of police presence because if you know, El Cortecito, Los Corrales, those are our big tourist areas, you know, where people can walk. A lot of people rent the Airbnbs over there. They stay in the resorts, voila, Turquesa Hotel, Stanzamar, all of those areas are just always super busy with tourists. So if you're over there, just be careful. You know, I don't know that this was a random thing or that those type of things are going to start happening, but it wasn't like, oh, it was late at night, he was walking by himself. No, absolutely not. It was middle of the day. So, you know, people always say, I only talk about, sorry, y'all, my computer's bumping. People always say, oh, Bridget just make it seem like life is so perfect in Punta Cana. There's no crime, nothing happens. Absolutely not. I try to tell y'all that all the time. This life, island life, is perfect for me because I've made this what I want it to be, is everything that I needed it to be, but I'm not blind to what's going on. You know, I'm very alert. I stay in touch and in tune with what's going on. I read my news and do all of that. I'm going to stop real quickly because y'all not going to talk for all night. We're only going to be on here an hour. I'm going to say hi to everybody. Kaya Pina, hola. Nigel, hi Nigel. Jackson Jeter, hey, hey, finally caught a live. Yay, this is only my second live, so you did really good. Black Crypto. Okay, thank you. Yep, this is my second time being live. Thank you for joining us. David Scott, hello. Veronica Scott, hello. Sean Lynn Irvin, hello, everybody. Let me see. Yep, Kia Pinga, she says she definitely feels safer here in the DR. Well, I do too. But y'all know my producer slash husband, Devlin, he actually went to the States yesterday. He flew into Chicago. So he's going to be there on a project for like 2 weeks. Y'all, I gave him a list of things to do and to not to do. I told him, you are not dining in restaurants. You are not going to be cruising up and down the aisles in Walmart because you're bored and don't have anything to do. Get in, do your shopping, order your food, take it to go back to your hotel and sit still, lock the doors. Because to me, it's just too much random crime in the US. And he's a black man, you know, and he's going to be driving. I don't want anything to happen to him. I want him to go do what he has to do, handle his business, and get back home. Now, I've noticed, like a few other things in the DR in Punta Cana, that in one area in Barone, they said that some guys were breaking into cars in that area. Nothing has happened that I'm aware of in Cocotal. And y'all know I'm a busybody. So I know I talk to security guards, like, you know, I'm clocking in and checking in and asking them, especially around me. There are like four in my area. So if anybody's that's been in Cocotal, you know, all along the perimeter, we have security. During the day, they're unarmed, but that late shift, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., they're armed with shotguns. I talk to them all the time. They have never had a need to use their shotgun. I ask them about crime. Have any cars been broken into? Have anybody's apartments been broken into? And they're like, no. And they get updates. They do daily updates. They have security meetings before their shifts and talk about what to look out for. And the biggest thing is people trying to sneak into Cocotal. You can't sneak in. It's only two ways in and out. We have a front gate and a back gate, and people have to show their ID. It's literally like Fort Knox. And then on one of the expat groups, y'all, which is so crazy, just to kind of give y'all a little information about this. In one of the expat groups, a man, uh, expat from Canada, he said that Cocotal, he doesn't live here. He said that Cocotal is nothing but a prison for rich people. Okay, I'm not rich and I don't feel like I'm in prison. I go and come as I please. And y'all are like, why would he even make that type of comment? Well, he made that comment because Cocotal has cracked down on the times that we are on our trail on the golf course because people pay to come and play golf here. So they should not have to be yelling four like 100 times because kids or people out there on the golf course in the middle of the day having a picnic or in the middle middle of the day walking their dog. I don't do that. I get up early and I walk Bella. And now that they have kind of cracked down, I'm me and Bella, we walk the streets, we walk the perimeter, or walk the inside of Cocotal. The beautiful view, beautiful homes to look at. So what's the big deal? But no, I don't feel like I'm in prison in Cocotal. Okay. And I am going to take questions. I'm going to go through right now. I see one. He said, what's the main difference between Puerto Plata versus Punta Cana or Sasua? We're going to move there soon. Okay, Sean, let me answer that question. I have been to both places, Puerto Plata and Sasua. For me, Puerto Plata, let me tell y'all, the population in Punta Cana is just over 100,000. We just did the census. If you were here, you saw the sticker on your door, and the census showed that the data should be out towards the end of the year, but we are just over 100,000. I think maybe 105,000. Okay, Puerto Plata has about 153,000 as of their last census. 53,000 people, okay, is a huge difference. And for me, when I was there in Puerto Plata, I could feel it. It feels like all of their main streets were always congested. If you're in Punta Cana, we have our traffic time is like morning 7 to 9. Lunchtime, everybody goes to lunch in Punta Cana, feels like at the same dang time, 11:30 to 1 o'clock, we got a little congestion and rush hour. And then not again till 5 o'clock going towards Barone. And that's our traffic. And because I'm a business owner, I don't have to be out there doing those times. I set my own hours. So I don't feel like I'm ever being inconvenienced, or I'm ever, in traffic, or get angry about road rage or any of that kind of stuff. The whole time I was in Puerto Plata, I felt like I was in Houston, and I felt it. It felt like road rage to me. And then another thing with people, we don't, as Americans, or especially as Black Americans, I didn't necessarily move to Punta Cana or move to another island to only be friends with expats. That wasn't the thing. And when I first got here, that's what I felt comfortable with, just because I didn't have to worry about my Spanish and what I was saying in Puerto Plata. But I in Punta Cana, the people that I met, and y'all know I have met so many Americans, so many expats, and I felt comfortable, with and talking with. Well, when I was in Puerto Plata, and I'm gonna be honest, it was myself and my husband when we went on our first trip, because we went there for a wedding. The African American men, the Black men, did not even speak to us. We had our friendly face. We were like, "Hello, how are y'all?" It was two Black men that spoke to me and my husband. They were all with the young, super bootylicious Dominican women, big boobs, big fake booties. And I guess they felt like we were going to judge them. I could care less. I know why people go, why Black men go to Puerto Plata, why they go to Sasua, because, sex is cheap. There's a lot of women there. And I'm not stereotyping. I'm talking from experience, because I have Black friends that are there, American Black men that are there, and they're honest. That's why they go. That is a little bit cheaper than Punta Cana. Everybody knows that Punta Cana is the most expensive city to live in the Dominican Republic. And but in Puerto Plata it's a lot cheaper, and the women seem to be a lot cheaper, and the same thing with Sasua. And for me, that's not the kind of environment that I wanted. Of course I would have liked for things to be cheaper, but then when I compare everything to Houston, is 10 times cheaper than Houston. So I'm okay with being in Punta Cana, the most expensive city, because it's still cheaper than Houston. I'm still able to have a really nice life. And not to say Puerto Plata and Sasua is all bad in those regards, but when I was in Puerto Plata in 2 days, the 2 nights that we were there like 4 days, but the 2 nights we went out, we left off of the resort. And I saw prostitutes everywhere. When I'm here in Punta Cana, I see one or two if I'm hanging out by Avalon, you know that y'all know where that is around by Joint Point, you'll see them a little bit more prevalent. There's one who likes to stroll the boulevard going towards Barone, Bavaro area. I see her every now and then. There's a corner in Friusa that, like the first year I was here, there used to be always like two. I never see them anymore. So to me, that's, you know, the biggest difference. Those, because those things stand out to me, and I don't want to be in that type of environment. So that was the main difference for me. The beaches are just amazing. Sasua has actually brown sand in certain places, and I thought it was beautiful. And I saw that again in Las Terrenas, and Puerto Plata. The beaches are just incredible. So that those are the differences. But Punta Cana to me, it has a lot more pros than cons. All right, next question. It says, what stores are equivalent to a Walmart? I guess anybody in the chat want to answer that. I'm gonna say Jumbo, really Jumbo, and yeah, really just Jumbo, because they have the bikes and they have the baby stuff and they have the dog stuff and they have food and they have hardware, a hardware section. So I think it's going to be Jumbo. But there is rumor that when you're going towards Cabeza del Toro, like you're going to the airport, that huge building that they've been building for the last 3 years is supposed to be like a Price Smart. So fingers crossed. There's a Price Smart in Santo Domingo, and that's like a combination of Costco and what was the other store called? Sam's. Oh my God, I've been away from the US a long time. Costco and Sam's. It's supposed to be Price Smart, which is a combination of those two. So everybody is hoping that it will be, because Punta Cana has really outgrown Jumbo. If you go to Jumbo any time of the day, there are going to be 20 people in line, you know, at prime shopping times. And every lane may be open, but I think we're just getting too big. And it's in a really inconvenient spot. I don't know, you know, those of you who have been here and go shopping at Jumbo, there's nowhere to park up front. So we have a parking garage. The parking garage, you used to have to pay if you stay longer than 30 minutes. Well, because the number of people that have moved here and how the population has grown in the last 3 years, the security guard, they just leave the gate up because they don't want people to have to pay, because they understand that there's no parking up top. Okay, I hope that answered that question. Yep, Jumbo is the closest. Okay, next it says, hi, thank you, Victor from Tampa. You purchased an apartment in Canna Rock inside the Hard Rock property and looking forward to retirement there. Cost of living here is nuts. Yes, I agree. And let me see, anything else? It says, where's a good place to get an affordable a bike affordable? There are no affordable bikes in Punta Cana, in my opinion. We brought our bikes in our container, and I'm getting ready to get a new bike when I go to the States. I have to go to Miami in March. And what I'm going to do is order me another bike on Walmart.com or Academy, one of those sporting goods stores, and they're going to be 10 times cheaper than buying here. So my bike is a 26-inch women's bike, and I realized I'm 5'9". My 26 bike is too short. I'm going to get a 29-inch men's bike. So here in Punta Cana, I've checked every bike store for a brand new bike because I didn't really want to get a used bike. So for a brand new bike, I'm looking at minimum, not even a good bike, $389. That's too expensive. I'm not paying that. A used bike. So somebody has a used bike tied up by the tree in the front of Cocotal. Used. It looks really, really used. $200. So there's not an affordable place. So I would say order your bike online. When you order it, tell them not to assemble it, to leave it in the box and check it on the plane. 50, maybe it may not even be $50, depending on who you're traveling with, or if you have any airline miles, you might can just check it as a check bag for free. But that's going to be your best bet, not getting it here. Okay. Next question says, how is my SUV search going? Well, let me tell y'all something. So y'all know we bought our car in San Pedro de Macorís, and that was the cheapest place. But lately, I have been checking Facebook Marketplace, and then a lot of people in Cocotal have the se vende on the back of the cars for sale. So the SUV search is actually going really good here in Punta Cana because we have found like a couple of. I know this sounds crazy, but 2014 and 15, which is still old, but like at the $10,000 mark, which I was like really shocked. I just knew we were probably gonna have to go to like 2008, 2009. Y'all know I'm cheap. I'm still trying to keep it like 10,000. I was really trying to keep it like 7,000, but then when I realized that the prices seem to be going down a little bit, I raised my budget to 10,000 because we're paying cash. So the reason I'm keeping my budget so low, and when you come to Punta Cana, you'll see a lot of fancy cars and really pretty cars. But I don't understand why people spend all that money on cars. Y'all know our car has been hit 3 times. We've had one insurance claim, and the other two people just paid me out of pocket. I got an estimate and they met me at my bridal shop and they paid me out of pocket. So it's just like I'm not gonna spend a lot of money on a car, but I am gonna increase my budget a little bit. So y'all know we got to get an SUV, and all of my family's in town, so we need it like right away. But Devin was called out of town for business, so when he gets back, then I will resume looking for an SUV. All right. Next questions. Yep, I'm 5'9". As somebody says, she felt like a giant. I do too, because I'm taller than most of the men here. I've noticed that Dominican men are shorter and Haitian men are taller. Not a whole lot of tall Dominican men. Like all of my Dominican men friends, out of all of them, I think only two are taller than me. So yeah, I do. I feel like a giant too. Okay, Nigel says we are seeing property prices dropping in Canada due to high interest rates. How are the property prices there in Punta Cana? The property prices here are fluctuating. Of course, the developers, they're trying to get you to sign on the dotted line and give them money right now so they can finish building all of these projects. So the prices are going up and down, up and down. But let me tell y'all what I've noticed, and y'all know I do real estate as well. So what I've noticed is once a project is complete and they have been advertising phase one, phase two, sold out, I can go in now and find on these projects that are completed vacancies, properties that are available, and not flips, not people that bought them really cheap in the building in the planning stage and now are flipping them. No, they have never been sold to anyone, and the prices have gone down. So I think what the builders are starting to realize that there's too much competition. That's why I tell y'all, hold your money with you until the projects are done and then come in and negotiate, because now you can get a new project that's completed with a furniture package, basically thrown in, because there's too much inventory. There's tons of inventory. So if you haven't even been here in like a year, come down. You're going to see there's so much inventory. There's so many things. So I think the prices are going to be in your favor if you just hold off. And I wouldn't even say a year, hold off 6 months. There's going to be in your favor because so many projects are coming to completion at the same time. All right, next question. It says, how often are there Airbnbs available in Cocotal? Well, it seems to be quite often. I have friends that just left. It just kind of depends on the price point. But they were here just before Valentine's Day and they just stayed like 4 days. They were in a one bedroom in Eden, which is here in Cocotal, and it was like $48 a night. And it was a nice apartment. Their only complaint was the property manager said for them to leave it clean, to like wash the sheets and wash the dishes, take out the trash. I'm like, what? But yeah, they did it. I don't know why. I wouldn't have done it. I would have left them a crazy review and said, no, you got to clean up for your next guest. I think they wanted them to have it ready for the next guest. So, which sucks. But yeah, there's quite a few apartments available in Cocotal. for Airbnb. Next one, somebody said armor-plated Mad Max truck. Okay, yes, I agree. Hi, Bridget. Hi, Ollie. Yes, Ollie Green is on here, guys. If you're in Florida looking for property, reach out to Ollie Green. This has to be the most involved, most considerate, most responsible, dedicated realtor that I have ever encountered in my lifetime. And y'all know I'm from Houston. I did real estate in Houston, and I have never met anyone like the OG Ollie Green in Tampa. I follow her, and she was one of my subscribers first, and then I started following her because I'm like, she is the bomb in real estate. I was like, maybe I need to step up my game a little bit, even though the bridal shop is my first passion. But if I'm going to be doing real estate, I need to be right up there with the best. And so if you guys are in Florida area looking for property, I would say definitely reach out to her. And was not a paid advertisement. I am just really proud of everything she does. Okay, next. Somebody says, Lotus Brown, hey, it says, I plan on moving out there very soon. Do you give tours? So y'all know I do two different type of tours. One is a real estate tour where you do not see inside of any properties. What we do is show you the neighborhoods so that you can figure out where you want to live in Punta Cana. And if this is a place where you really want to be. Because one time, people will see these apartments online and they'll fall in love with them. And then we take them to the neighborhood and they're like, I don't want to live in this neighborhood. Why'd you bring me over here? So to eliminate that, because y'all know it's really hard to get appointments to see property in Punta Cana. So I do a real estate tour where I can help familiarize you with the different neighborhoods, help you to see where you're going to get your utilities. If you have an electric car, that's part of my tour now. I show you where the charging stations are, and I show you where the best tailor and seamstress, where your grocery store. So the tour is really good. It's really involved. It's for people who are really thinking about moving here. And the other type of tour I do is, y'all already know, a foodie tour. I do a foodie tour to show you my favorite places to go and eat, because people are like, you dine out a lot. Do you spend a lot of money? Absolutely not. I eat like a Dominican, but I eat so good. But I know where, like, I call them the hole in the wall restaurants are. So while you're on the beach paying what, $30 for a red snapper with the head on, eyes in, all of that, I pay like $11 for a whole red snapper, and they'll take the head off and the eyes off, all of that, because I don't want to see that. And I'm eating the same fried fish that you are, with tostonas and salad, the same meal. So you got to know where to shop. So the foodies tour is going to tell you where to do that and where to get the best cake. Okay. So yes, I do the tours, but those are the only two. It says a lot of people are buying sight unseen. Yes, David, they are, and I think it's crazy. All right. Yeah, it says that sucks. You have to clean up, but that's not with all Airbnbs that you have to do the cleanup. This was the first time I had ever heard of that. So, I think that was just them. Mellow vibes. Hi. It said my fiance and I are watching from Santo Domingo. You're engaged. Congratulations. I hope I'll be seeing you at boys' wedding dresses, getting your dress. Well, congratulations. Somebody said, I plan on moving to Las Terrenas and buy real estate in your area. Okay, Lotus. I like Las Terrenas, but I didn't love Las Terrenas. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. There wasn't a whole lot to do. So you seem pretty young. Um, it's very, very calm. It's kind of not to say anything bad about Russians or anything like that, but it's kind of a Russian takeover in Las Terrenas. A lot of the businesses are owned by Russians, and most of the properties, most of the businesses, everything is kind of a Russian invasion. And not that I didn't feel comfortable, but that wasn't the environment that I wanted. And then besides the beach and the bars, there's really not a whole lot to do. Like in Punta Cana, because it is more touristy, there's tons of stuff to do, and not just your typical going to the beach, going to the club. We have an equestrian center. Y'all know pickleball is huge here. We have the soccer league. We have baseball. We have different types of yoga and Pilates. We have theater now. There's a local theater group that's performing at different venues around Punta Cana. So there's so many things to do. Las Terrenas, I was like, we were supposed to be there we were supposed to be there 5 days. We left in three because we did the beach. We ate at the places that our friends recommended, and we went back to the beach. And I was like, well, I got a beach at home and I could be sleeping in my own bed. So let's go. So we cut our visit short. But, if you're more laid back, you don't really need a lot of activities, then you may like Las Terrenas. And that's not to say anything bad about it. It's a little bit slower. So if you're young, in your 50s, it may be too slow for you, in all honesty. Okay. And then, okay, so I don't think I got all of the questions. I hope I did. All right. And so now I'm just going to go back to the crime thing because that was my topic for today. Just because it kind of caught me off guard with the consultations that I had this week. I'm sorry, y'all. My light is bugging me. With the consultations that I had this week, it just kind of, you know, made me feel weird that people are still asking me, is it safe? Is it safe? Is it safe? Okay, I've been here 4 years. Nothing has happened to me. I don't put myself in danger. I do go to the hood. I know certain places that are considered the hood because I like to thrift shop. I like to eat at food trucks and do all of that kind of stuff. But I don't do it late at night, because I know one thing I understand that, and I know most Americans and most foreigners do understand, is that we do have more money, more material things than your average Dominican or your average Haitian that lives here. But it's because our countries offer those opportunities and the wages. And so I met a guy today, and he works construction all day. Is their construction hours are literally like 10 to 12 hours. So I'm asking, what do you make a day? He's like, oh, usually anywhere from 25 to $40 a day. A day working construction here in Punta Cana with really not most of them don't have 100% safety gear. When I first got here, nobody had hard hats, nobody had harnesses, and they were climbing and working on the edge of the building and putting in your windows and your new properties. And I was just like so disgusted. So think about it. You're coming into town for a vacation or moving here, part time or even full time, like we are. And so just think about it. You have your nice car, you have your money, and you have your nice clothes on, and they're thinking they don't do anything all day. So are you really going to put on your nice big ring and nice big chain and go hang out in the hood and go look for, your boyfriend or your girlfriend and then be surprised when they take you for all your money? Yeah, that's pretty much what is happening. People are coming here and liking the idea of being like a big fish in a small pond. And that's what it kind of relates to. And so you can't really do that. I'm not telling anybody to come here and downplay their success or anything like that. I'm just saying you have to come and you have to be smart. I had, up north in Puerto Plata and Las Terrenas, there were instances of Americans and Canadians, and I think one lady from Spain. And the big story, I think the lady was from Spain, but she was like a famous author, and her husband and his son killed her. And so it was like a really big deal, and it was like a really sad case. But he had tried to kill her once. This lady was like, in from my understanding, what I heard from the blogs and people, whenever I traveled to Las Terrenas, I got a chance to meet a couple of her friends, and she was like almost millionaire status, but everybody knew it. Why would everybody know it? If you're coming to live a simpler life, why are you flaunting your money? Then they tried to kill her before and it wasn't successful, but she didn't leave. She told people that she think they were trying to kill her, but she didn't leave them. So guys, when you're coming, don't put yourself in danger. Be smart and just think about it. Even though things are safer here because they're not guns, like you can't go to Walmart and buy a gun or go to Target or Academy or, in these places and just buy a gun. Here, they can't really get guns, but you could still lose your life over, something senseless and material things if you're flaunting them in people's faces who know that they'll never have a legitimate way to make that kind of money and buy those kind of material things. And that's just, life. That's just the world that we live in. And I love it here in the Dominican Republic because people aren't so caught up in it. But as generations go on, people are younger, social media are flaunting all these things. People will get antsy, and I realize that and I know that. So I am just like, I'm happy to be here and feel safer, but I'm not ever letting my guard down. You know what I mean? I'm always not living in fear, and not enjoying myself. I'm definitely enjoying myself, but I don't go out and hang out in the hood at midnight and with my nice wedding ring on and money in my pocket and all of that kind of stuff and not tempt people. And I didn't do that in the States. Why would I come and do it here? So, people are always asking about crime that are thinking about being moving here. Just know that you're going to be a lot safer. You just got to be smart wherever you go. Okay. Next question. It says, do you feel like a person can get by in Punta Cana without speaking Spanish? I've been forced to learn faster living in Santo Domingo. Um, yeah, you could definitely get by in Punta Cana, but you wouldn't want to. Let me just say it that way. Because there's more tourism here, a lot of the people speak English, and they want to practice their English. No matter how much I try to use my Spanish every day, they want to practice their English. So you would definitely have an easier time. But when you are like out and about in the neighborhoods, off the beaten path, and you want to negotiate, those Spanish skills are going to come in handy. And for emergency situations, you want to be able to speak some Spanish because a lot of the police officers don't speak English. None of the firefighters that I have talked to and met speak any English. So, to be able to take care of yourself in emergency, I would say yes, definitely try to learn some Spanish. Um, Lorna says, do you assist with finding a rental? Let me answer this question. Okay, with rentals in Punta Cana, realtors and people that list their properties, they do not pay any type of fee when you bring them renters. So there's really no incentive. I help people just like the kindness of my heart. But then when I realize that people don't really understand that I'm doing it for free, and they like go back and forth and send me million texts and million, messages on WhatsApp. I'm just like, I can't do this for free anymore. So I do help, but I do charge a fee for it, and then I'm out of it. When it's time for the money transaction and all of that to go on between you and the property owner or the property manager, I'm completely out of it. My thing is to just find you something really nice in your area. Not help negotiate the terms, but find out what their terms are. Do they take short term or is it long term? Do they take pets? How many kids? What amenities can you use? I will find all of that out for you, and then I pass you on to them. When I say this is the perfect fit, this is what they paid me for, then I'm out. If you end up leasing with them or whatever the case may be. But I just found it very time consuming that I wasn't able to do it for free anymore. So sorry, guys, I got to charge. All right, Sean Lynn, my husband's question is, what is the cost difference of building versus buying turnkey? That I could not answer because I haven't had. I mean, I know a few people that have bought land and built, but their price range was really high. So they just recently bought land in Cocotal. The land itself was 190,000, and then the house that they're having built is like a little over $400,000. So as far as people that are doing it economically, I haven't heard of anyone. So, but for me, I would just say the stress, I don't know what the cost difference is, but the mental aspect of it. It would just really be the stress, unless you're, fully bilingual in Spanish and you've worked with the builders and things like that here before. I wouldn't do it. I would have to be 100% in both of those areas. I would have to feel comfortable with the builders. I would have to be able to be here during the whole process. I would have to speak Spanish, all of that. Because to me, building in itself is already a process and it's stressful. But to do it in another country and not be here during the whole no, during the whole process, not know the builders, not know, fully understand the contracts because they're in Spanish, not know what's going on. Just like I wouldn't do it. And there are too many beautiful properties and things that are being built that you could just go in and buy a turnkey and be done. Okay, Nadine, it says, how's Vista Cana? It seems to be doing well. How's Cana Bay Rock? New condos. Is this a premium area? So Vista Cana is coming along, but is, my opinion, nowhere near where the builders had projected it would be this time, February 2023. It looks like that it's just going to be spotchy over again, probably for another 2 years. There are only like a couple of little areas that are halfway done. I literally cannot think of one project over in Vista Cana that's complete. So that's that. Canna is new. Canna to me, it looks like the apartments that they build for the hotel employees. I don't see people that are bought in Canna. You have to tell me what was the lure. What is it that you love? Because when I look at it, it's just white stone. It doesn't have any beautiful archway designs. It has that walkway. It literally looked like the dorms on college campuses. That's what it looks like to me. Dorms on college campuses, the properties that they build for the resort workers. Because if you go over to Malia, the resort workers' apartments look identical to Canarac. And so I'm not very impressed with either one. With Canarac. Vista Cana, there are a lot of different looks over there. Some of them that I love. I cannot wait till they're actually done. However that's going to be, however many years it's going to be. Okay. Someone Dottley says, I am purchasing a condo in Hardin's 3 on Punta Cana. We visit every 6 months, check on our project. I love it in Punta Cana. Well, very good. And I think Hardin's 3 is the project going towards my bridal shop. Um, the main, like, so where Jumbo is the opposite way going towards Barone, that part of Bavaro. So message me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it is. All right, says Lotus says, good to know about Las Terrenas. I'm 28, married 9 years, 2 kids, just waiting on my son to arrive next month. Congratulations. Then getting his passport, but I'm for sure moving out there ASAP from Austin, Texas. Okay, yeah. So I would say, since Las Terrenas was your first choice, I would say definitely go and rent and try it out because it may be especially for a family, exactly what you need. Now, I have a friend who's in Las Terrenas and she chose it because the school was a lot cheaper than Punta Cana. She has one son, he's in school. I don't know what she pays, but here is $400 a month at the international school, the cheapest is $400 a month at the international school. I heard that not Heritage, that Bavaro International had lowered their prices a little bit. So they may be in the $300 range, but that's the average price. And I know that Las Terrenas is like 200 and something dollars a month for school children to be at the international school. So that's why she's there. Okay. It says, how long from start to finish did it take you for you to get your residency? I have my cedula, cedula. I don't know what the word is, but from start to finish, you start the first part of your residency in your home country, so in the United States, doing all the paperwork to get the visa. It took like a few months. So then once I got here, they say 60 days, but it may be 30 to turn in all of your paperwork and your visa. So from start to finish, from that point, it was to get the card, it was right at 9.5 months. It took a long time. And I was going online, looking at the status, making sure everything was good. It was about 4.5 months in that I got the notice to go and get my medical exam done. And so then I went to the hospital, got my medical exam, and uploaded all of that paperwork, got the confirmation, and then we just waited. And then we got a confirmation to go in and sign paperwork, take our picture for our cedula, and then that was it. So it was right at 10 months. So we don't have passports yet, but we are eligible now because we've been here 4 years and we've had our cedula more than 2 years. So it's after the 2 year period that you can apply for the Dominican passport. So I haven't started checking on that whole process for the passport yet because I'm good right now. But maybe this year, maybe something that we'll be doing. All right. Next, thank you, Black Crypto. These are my readers. I have about 100 pair because I lose glasses. My real glasses are somewhere around here, but these are just readers. I just like the colors. It says, please do a video about white sands, custom English. I did do a video about white sands. It wasn't much to the video, but I did a video about white sands. They like, people know that white sands is not my favorite. They have some really cool properties in there that are older. The balconies are huge. The apartments are huge. My friend, she's renting a 2 bedroom, 2 bath for $650 a month. She's got a beautiful balcony. She's on the first floor, right in front of the pool. But then it's like there's no clubhouse. There's the golf course is not kept up. They're not using the golf course. Some of the buildings look like they are literally abandoned, and then the building next to it may be people living in it. And so I don't like that. I don't like that the whole community is not, visually appealing. Let me say it that way. But I did do a video already on White Sands. I may revisit it because they do have a shuttle to the beach. It runs every hour. They do have a really nice beach area, but nothing's there. No chairs for you. There's no little restaurant, none of that kind of stuff. So that's one of the things. But I like White Sands a little bit better than I did. I don't like that driving up to White Sands, that area by that casino, all of those places is so dirty. A lot of it didn't survive COVID, so they're not keeping up the grass and all of those kind of things. And I don't want to be like driving up to my home and explaining to my friends like, oh, but my house is nice, that kind of thing. Yeah, don't close your eyes till we get to the gate. I just, everything has to be nice to me. Everything has to be clean. And I feel like it's gonna come because they have so many beautiful apartments in White Sands that are older properties and that are, reasonably priced. You can get a huge 3 bedroom in White Sands with a beautiful balcony, overlooking the pool area because there's no golf view, but overlooking like the pool area and all of that kind of stuff for like $165,000. And that's, I mean, huge apartments. So let me know if you want to see some of those because they're there, a lot of them. It says there's an easy way to get it when you're married to a Dominican citizen. Not to my knowledge. I think they still have to go through all the same process. You still have to get your visa first in your country and then do everything else. Okay. Residency card and cedula or cedula, same thing, no difference. Let me see any other questions that you all have. Make sure I didn't miss any. Okay. All right. Okay, good. I didn't miss any. Somebody said something about Amazon. I don't know what I missed. Okay, let me continue. So, oh, I know we were talking. I was talking about crime was my main topic. There are apps not apps on Instagram. There are things you have to follow. It's called Bavaro News, and I will actually put it on. I'm going to do another episode about it so that all the information will be there. But this is where you can find out what's going on in your city, what's going on in the whole area of Dominican Republic. And guys, the Dominicans have been doing like a lot of protesting here lately because a lot of builders are starting to build in like the developed neighborhoods, some of the areas that are already there near like Pueblo Bávaro. If you're familiar with Punta Cana, then you know Pueblo Bávaro is there by Olay. So if you turn down that street by Olay, this is an old Dominican neighborhood, you know, well established, been there forever. Well, they wanted to raise the fees for the owners that live there, but the owners were like, what are we getting? You know, when you're raising the fees, they're giving a gate card to get through the gate. They're asking them to pay for it. But once you're inside of Pueblo Bávaro, there are lots of businesses. There are restaurants, there's a shopping center with a pharmacy, there's clothing stores. There's all kinds of things. I don't live there. I don't have a gate card. And so when I pull up, they just open the gate and I go in. So why would an owner want to pay for a card when you're letting everybody else in? So there was a huge protest, you know, and one of my friends were like, are Dominicans very active with politics and things like that? I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, because there was, I think they maybe started around 3 or 4 o'clock that day when they got the notice that their fees were going up. They were protesting to like 10 o'clock at night. And this was probably the second big protest that I had seen. The first one was, if you all remember back, there was a fatal accident, a bus crash, where a Dominican driver, you know, he lost control because he was speeding and killed like 5 tourists. Well, the all of the some of the bus drivers with his company, the next couple of days, they started protesting because they didn't want him to be fired. Not fired, not going to jail. They didn't want him to be fired. They didn't want nothing to happen to him. So they like call themselves going on strike. Well, the minister of tourism and transportation, he like called their bluff. He was like, okay, quit. There are a lot of people that would like to be trained and like to have these bus driving jobs. So, needless to say, they were all back at work. But there was like a protest from Baron all the way past Cocotal going up to Friusa on the freeway. They were all following each other in these tour vans with their lights flashing. And I was like, okay, you know, I really like the fact that the Dominican people really stand up, you know, for certain things, but they don't stand up for wages. They don't stand up for working conditions. And I'm just like, how do they choose, you know, what they're going to fight for? But at least some of them have a fight for something. So that's what I say. All right. It says, I saw a question. Oh, Victor says, how's Kathmandu Park going and have they opened it yet? Okay, y'all. So I'm in Cocotal. I don't know if y'all follow me on Instagram, but the other day, the president was here, the president of the Dominican Republic. He had his helicopters parked on our golf course. And so me and Bella and Davlin were there having a photo shoot. We found out that the president was in town to do the inauguration ceremony of Kathmandu. It was on my calendar to go and film. I was so busy with my parents being in town and all of my family. I missed it. But he did the inauguration. Kathmandu is supposed to open on March 15th. Now, I am totally disappointed because literally the only thing that I can see that they've done is like a putt-putt course. I don't see anything else. I don't, it looks nothing like the billboard that they have been advertising for all of these years, for these last 2 years. And on top of that, the price for Kathmandu theme park for one day, an adult, I think it was 120 US dollars, and for kids is $84. It doesn't seem like, okay, I've been up there and it seemed like everything is roped off, but it was supposed to be like a hallway or a courtyard of things that we could all enjoy, whether you took advantage of some of the I don't even know how to put it. Took advantage of some of the, I don't want to call them excursions, but some of the different areas where I could understand you would have to pay for. But it was just like, it's a mess to me. All I see is a putt putt. I don't see any more construction going on. I don't see anything else happening. I don't know if I'm missing something or if it's not all supposed to be in that one area, but it was a huge letdown. So that's it for Kathmandu, and it's supposed to open on March 15th, official opening. All right. And let me see VM cargo. It says at Black Carp. Okay, she answered that. Um, So it looks like, yeah, it looks like y'all were talking about receiving mail and packages. Well, I did an episode about that. So there's really not, we don't have like our own private addresses. You have to go and register with one of the companies. Now, for me, I was able to negotiate me a rate with Pick and Send because of me having a business. I don't have a tax ID because I don't have to charge taxes on wedding dress rentals or sales. So I don't have a tax ID, but I was still able to negotiate a good rate. BM Cargo was very expensive and they take longer to clear your packages. I had BM Cargo first. So my packages would get to Miami in like a couple of days. Then you have to upload your receipt and show them if it was more or less than $200. Let me tell y'all the trick. Anything that you buy, make sure it doesn't come up to 200 over $200 on one receipt. So if you know you're buying a couple of different things, buy them separately, let them ship separately, let it be a separate receipt. Because if that one receipt comes in over $200, a dollar over $200, you're going to pay so much more money. So what I do if I'm buying a couple of different things and it's going to be $200, like we had to get some parts for the golf cart. So we ordered them separately so that the vendor that we were buying from couldn't put them all together and put it all on one receipt. Because then when it gets to Miami, you're gonna have to upload that receipt. Then when it gets to Santo Domingo to customs, they're gonna charge you a lot more money. But if your receipt, I don't care if your boxes come a day apart, 2 days apart, then you don't is if it's under $200, all you're gonna pay is the weight when you receive it. So how that works is like with Pick and Send, my rate is like I think it's 251 pesos, 251 pesos to receive, to pick up per pound. And so that's what I would pay, nothing else. But if it's over $200, it's going to be whatever they want to tax you. I don't know how they figure it. There's no chart, any of that. So just keep that in mind. All right. So that's with getting packages. And I don't use any Prime or anything like that. I order from Amazon, but they don't deliver to my house because that's all an extra charge. I let it go to Pick and Send. I get the email notification that all of my things have been cleared, and then I go pick them up. So nothing else. All right. Is there a location or office they have in Punta Cana? Yes, BM Cargo. Throughout the island, she answered that. I'm trying to get some butt screen TVs, or I'm trying to get some big screen TVs. Okay, yeah, yep, $200. That's your number. You don't want to go over that. All right. I hope I answered all the questions. Lotus, last question said, is there an era with more women of color from America? I think the majority of us are in Punta Cana and in Santo Domingo. And I say Santo Domingo because I know quite a few Black women in Santo Domingo, and it's because they're all still working. They're working, they're young. They're a lot younger than me. They're like late 20s, 30s. They like Santo Domingo. They like the party life. They like the busyness. And then they are all working. They're all working there. Doing like, I think a lot of them are doing like teaching English at some of the schools there and different things like that. But yeah, I think that's it. So, what is the equivalent of Costco in Punta Cana? Jumbo. It's going to be Jumbo. So, the residency process is much faster nowadays. I came in November and submitted my papers. I've already had my medical. Wow, very good. Only waiting for my schedule and residency cards. Thank you for your videos. You're welcome and good for you. And she says she's in Santo Domingo working remotely. So, yeah, that's where the majority, I think, of the Black women are in Punta Cana and Santo Domingo. But there's plenty of us spread everywhere. If you all don't know Kelly is in Las Terrenas, and she's an African American lady. She's a YouTuber. She's a lawyer from California, and she loves Las Terrenas. She loves it. She's been there. She's been there a few years, but then she did go back to the States. I think her son got homesick and missed his friends. They went back for like a year, and then he realized he missed it, and then now they're back. So y'all have to follow her, and I did a video with her. Go back and look at one of my past episodes. Okay, let me see. I think I covered everything, y'all. Time goes by so fast on this live. I didn't realize how much I talk. But the time's almost up. We're just going to take just have a few more minutes. If anybody else have any questions, drop them in there. And somebody asked me about consultations. Yes, I started doing consultations because when I first started my channel, people were asking me questions and I would just answer them. And then they would have a follow-up and another follow-up and another follow-up. And I realized I was spending all day. So, and that, and a lot of the questions I had answered throughout some of my previous videos, or that, go back and look at some of the old episodes, and I would do that. But then they kind of made me feel like I was being rude to say, oh, I already did an episode on that. Check that out. So when people were like, well, could you just tell me? And I'm like, yes, I can for a fee. So then that's when I started charging for the consultations. So y'all know me, my time is money because I am busy. I do a lot of stuff. But that's why I wanted to start doing the live once a month to give you a chance to ask some of the questions without having to spend any money on consultations. All right. And Black Crypto said, I miss DR so bad. So come on back. It says hit the like button on your way out. They got snow the other day. Oh my goodness. But yes, the weather here is amazing. It seems like we're gonna have a little bit longer winter to me because normally this time in February is usually kind of warming up. But these nights, just like right now, my curtains are really blowing. It's so cold. Not so cold. It's a lot cooler than it was. Even my mom noticed it. My mom and my sister are both still in town, and they were like, haven't even used their AC at all. They're staying at an Airbnb because my mom likes the first floor. And they were like, we haven't even used the AC. This time last year when we were here, we'd already used the AC. So yeah, it seems like our winter is going to be a little bit longer, and maybe the summer is going to be a lot hotter. I'm okay with that. I like a hot girl summer. But anyway, thank you. I love these glasses. Y'all look. Y'all better go to Dollar Tree in the States. Pick your colors. I have like every color. These Dollar Tree readers, just because I'm really bad about losing glasses. But I think that's it, you guys. I hope to see you all in Punta Cana this year. If y'all see at the beginning of my new episodes, I have like 2 pages of me and my subscribers. So y'all already know if y'all gonna meet me in public, if y'all gonna come up and say hi, y'all are gonna take a picture with me, and you could end up on this channel. But I'm always looking to interview people that are interested in moving to Punta Cana, and just to give me your feedback on why you chose this city. And that's something I'll talk about next time I go live. Because Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, was not my first choice. It was like my fifth or sixth choice. But then it started to check off all the boxes, and guess what? It moved up to my number one. But originally, it was not my first choice. And so we'll talk about that next month when I go live, which will be the third Thursday in March. I don't know what that date is. Third Thursday in March. And it'll be at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know Dominican Republic is an hour ahead. So I had to like push it back my time so I wouldn't be up so late. But that's it. I will be traveling to the States. I'll be in the States, y'all, presenting at the Miami Open March. I think this year I'm going to be there from March 15th to April 2nd. Y'all pray for me. Pray that I stay safe in Miami. All I do is go to the tennis tournament, present, speak, and come home, go back to my hotel because I want to stay safe. I want to make it back to Punta Cana, with everything crazy that's going on. Okay, and it looks like you all are having a conversation about opening bank accounts. And remember, I did an episode about that. I bank at Banco Popular, and it was a smooth, easy process. I've been with them the whole 4 years that I've been here. I've never had any issues at all. Okay. And anything else? All right, guys, I am going to sign off now. Thank you all for joining in. I didn't think I was going to like doing live, but I really, really like it. And I thank you all for joining me. Y'all don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And then if y'all have any more questions, y'all know, put them in the comments. I love to answer all your questions that you have. All right, anything else? We are out of here. Have a good night, everybody.